NASCAR on NBC is brought to you by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. Perfect for race fans. Toyota. And by Most Dangerous Game, an action-packed thriller starring Liam Hemsworth, only on Quibi.
The Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Its history. Its tradition. Make this place the racing capital of the world.
Drivers, start your race car. Jeff Gordon is about to write his name in the racing history books.
Rick Mears heads for number 4.
I wish I could put it in words. Today's been my entire life.
I didn't know it till I got the checkered flag.
As we celebrate our nation's birthday, the Brickyard celebrates new history and new tradition. Indycar and NASCAR sharing this hallowed ground on the same day.
Yes. That's badass. Let's do this all you. Yeah, big boy. Nice job.
Xfinity Series rising stars look to take their place alongside legends of motorsports. An opportunity to kiss the bricks awaits.
It's NASCAR Xfinity Series Racing from Indianapolis, the Pennzoil 150 at the Brickyard. Of course, in these different times because of COVID-19, the starting lineup has been set randomly. And Steve, you can explain that a little better, but I say it because Jeff Burton starting on the pole. When he signed up for this race, they were still going to run on the oval here at Indianapolis, but he'll have a little bit of a different look at this racetrack.
Yeah, as we continue to see names run across, Brandon Jones, Ryan Sieg. Basically, if you're in the top 12 in points, you get put in the bucket. You're the first 12 guys randomly drawn. The middle third of the field is by the next 12 in points. So it is random. You have a little advantage if you're higher in points, but this is not indicative of speed as we see Austin Cindric back on row 5, one of the favorites for today.
Jesse Little, Mike Wallace making up row 7. And we saw Justin Haley's name back there in row 6. We want to chat with him before he gets too fired up inside this car. Jeff, can you dial him up on the radio?
Hey, Justin, it's the Booth Boys. You got us?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, brand new racetrack for the Xfinity Series. You had 2 hours of practice yesterday. What do you think the biggest challenge is going to be?
This is an extremely fun road course. You know, I've got a good bit of road course experience myself, so this thing has been so much fun running the track yesterday. Hats off to NASCAR for bringing us here in the Xfinity Series. So I think the biggest challenge is just keeping the left rear tire underneath us. Got a lot of right-handed corners, so the left rear is getting a lot of wear and tear.
So before you guys, of course, we had the Indycar race. I don't know if you got a chance to watch it, and if you did you learn anything from those guys?
You really can't learn much, but thankfully for me and everyone in college racing, we have a really fast lead filter gutter protection Chevrolet. DCR power under the hood. We were extremely fast yesterday, so we're happy with our pace. Hopefully we can keep it clean here, see how this race plays out, and put a good 4th of July weekend race on for y'all. So appreciate everyone with you guys, everyone, all the fans. Hopefully we can get a win.
Justin, how about the historic moment of this? What does it feel like to be part of this event?
It's really cool. I mean, triple header weekend, IndyCar. Like I said, the thing we're missing now is the fans. So it's a little bittersweet, but hopefully next year we'll be back and better.
Good luck, buddy. Really appreciate you letting us ride along with you. Have fun today.
Well, so far this weekend, the biggest news story that has come out has been the fact that 7-time champion Jimmie Johnson tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday. And so for him to get back to the racetrack, the protocol is he must have 2 negative tests that are separated by at least 24 hours, and he must be cleared by a physician prior to his return to the racetrack. And of course, a big streak ending there at 663 consecutive starts. But filling in for him will be Justin Allgaier, who's in the race today. And for more on him, let's go to Kelly Stavist.
And Rick, Justin Allgaier said first and foremost, his thoughts are with Jimmie Johnson and his family, and he certainly hopes for a speedy recovery for them. But then Justin also told me he's been text messaging back and forth with the big boss man, Rick Hendrick, this morning. And Mr. H started by saying, hey, look, no pressure, just go out there and do your thing tomorrow. But then he was also quick to point out that Justin will be the only driver, except for the 7-time champion, to drive that number 48 car. So maybe a little pressure after all. In fact, when I saw Allgaier walking to his car just a few moments ago, he said, look, I feel really good about today. It's tomorrow that's already got me nervous. He is a 3-time road course winner, one of the favorites here today, and he's got a good starting spot. He's starting 5th today, Marty Snyder.
Well, Kelly, you heard Jeff Burton mention it a moment ago. The show today is going to be A.J. Allmendinger. He starts 30th this afternoon, and this morning when I chatted with him, I said, how's that going to be? His quote to me, fun. And if you believe Garage Area Wisdom this morning, everyone's saying it's going to be a battle between Allmendinger and Austin Cindric in the number 22 Team Penske car. He said, I have nothing to lose, A.J. said. Austin does. He's battling for a championship. All I want to do today is kiss the bricks. I can guarantee you, Rutledge Wood, it's going to be a lot of fun watching A.J. Allmendinger come from 30th today.
That's for sure. And you know, we've got a fan favorite back in the field that we haven't seen for 5 years. Mike Wallace is making his return to the Xfinity Series. Today he's in that JD Motorsports car with Market Scan as his sponsor, but for a really special reason. U.S. Marine Corps veteran Danny Garcia's and his Honor Walk 2020 is about to kick off. This is a 4-month-long multi-state campaign to raise money for America Salutes You that's all about raising money for veterans, first responders, and their families. Since 1996, he has walked over 52 million steps on 6 different continents, and Mike said he's so happy to be here, to be back for such a great cause. And he said, for once in my life, this race is all about having fun. When he signed up, he of course thought that the fans were going to be here, but for someone that's had such a great relationship with fans for so long, he knows those fans are watching at home and are excited about him being back today, guys.
What a great story, and obviously there's going to be a lot of fans that are going to be cheering for Mike Wallace just for that simple fact. All right, Steve, give us the race breakdown. Again, the first time this has ever happened for the Xfinity Series.
Well, it's a 62-lap event on a brand new racetrack. The first and second stage, both 20 laps. The final stage, 22 laps. Pit road speed, 35 miles an hour. Fuel window, I'm going to put some question marks next to 28 to 30. We really don't know. I talked to teams. They're not sure yet. They didn't get enough in practice, so we're going to see today who decides to stretch fuel, who comes for tires. A lot of question marks heading into the race.
Since it's a new racetrack, let's take you through it. We'll have our drivers give you a little bit of a bird's eye view of what this road course is all about.
All right, everybody buckle up, because turn 1's going to be a mess on this first restart. Huge braking zone down into 1, and a lot of back and forth. Turn 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 leading down a long straightaway into another braking zone and passing opportunity at turn 7.
Yeah, turn 7 is going to be eventful all day long. There's an opportunity to make passes, and then very slow corners, 9, 8, 9, 10. 11's a long sleeper heading into another braking zone in 12. We can see some passing there. And then 14, that's going to be important because you get a big run off that corner. Getting into turn 1 could be huge for you.
And there's still a lot on the line. Even though we think it's early in the season, take a look at the standings right now. And only a few winners, a handful of winners so far that have locked themselves into the playoffs with Briscoe, Gregson, Harrison Burton, Brandon Jones, Justin Haley.
And Rick, we're going to have a conversation about points. If you're new to NASCAR, I mentioned those stages earlier. At the end of each stage, the top 10 get points. So when you look at Snyder and Brown down there trying to make the playoffs, those points could be the decision maker for their season.
Jeb Burton in the 8s, in that blue number 8 on the right side there, and Michael Annett in the 1 make up the front row, getting ready to start something new at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Taking on the road course, green flags in the air. Chaos could start quickly here. Two and three wide as they work through some of these turns.
Real impressed the whole field was able to get through there pretty cleanly. How long will that patience last before these guys start taking more risks?
A lot of give and take right there at the start of this race. Smart move by all the drivers. Unlike you, though, it won't last long. You see right here, look for the lead. Brandon Jones pushing Jeb Burton right now.
Michael Annett's fall back a bit. Brandon Jones trying to get to the inside of the gate.
That's going to be a tough area to try to pass somebody in there.
That number 7, Klondike on the hood. That's Justin Allgaier, very good on the road courses.
And behind him, Noah Gregson, a pass for the lead right here. Noah, a great start, already up to third, battling for third.
Jeff Burton hanging on to the lead as they come back out onto the front stretch.
All right, Rick, I lose the bet. A clean first lap. I would have lost that bet.
Also interesting to see Jeb race on the outside of that turn 12 into 13.
You guys mentioned there's a big braking zone right here.
This is where we see right there, the 22 car, Austin Cindric. He's the guy everybody was talking about. Noah sideways. Austin Cindric, a great road racer. Not a good one, a great one. He's going to put the pressure on these guys.
And Cindric started in the 10th position. He's already up to 5th.
4th.
And now 4th.
Oh, man. Jones getting through that turn 5 and 6. That's going to be really key. 3 wide here into turn 7.
And how about Allgaier? Justin Allgaier takes the lead away from Jones.
He took the lead away from Jones, but I give credit to Jeff Burton, understanding that was not the time to go in there 2 and 3 wide. Unfortunately, it's continuing to cost him spots as the 19 is under attack by Austin Cindric in that bright 22. Not much of a battle. The 22 easily goes by.
It was an emotional win 2 years ago for Justin Allgaier right here at this racetrack. He reminisced about how he and his father used to watch the Indy 500 from up in turn number 1. And he was able to win and kiss the bricks here. Now on a different course, though, at Indianapolis.
Talk about Indianapolis. Well, guess who that 22 car is owned by? Roger Penske.
Yeah.
Owns this facility now. You know, as he peeks out looking for the lead, Justin Allgaier is not going to give it to him. Good braking right there by Allgaier.
No mistakes early for the top 3. As Allgaier has moved up to the lead, Cindric now right on the back bumper of the 7.
This is the critical part right here. 5 and 6. This little kink. If you get through there right, you've got to run on the guy in front of you, going down this long straightaway that's going to present a great opportunity to pass into 7.
Talk about how good of a road course racer Cindric is. Well, Justin Allgaier is as well. Multiple wins on road courses in the Xfinity Series. He has not had the kind of year he wanted to so far this year. Hasn't won a race.
He missed the corner right there. Allow Cindric to get close as they go into turn 11.
So much has been made of this short chute. We heard from Matt DiBenedetto, a NASCAR Cup Series driver who tested here for the Xfinity Series. He said you never, ever get straight on that short chute.
Missed the apex just a little bit there again. Justin kind of overdriving the car just slightly.
It's okay though, as long as he gets off of here very well, then he's going to be fine. But Cindric with a big run, can he outbreak him into 1?
On the right side, you have the battle for the lead between Allgaier and Cindric. Will Cindric pop out? He will. On the left, that's A.J. Allmendinger's bumper cam. Started all the way back in 30th. Cindric back in line. How about Allmendinger, guys? Up to 22nd, patiently wording through traffic.
It's going to be fun to watch Allmendinger as he works his way up. He got his first oval win earlier this year in the Xfinity Series. Doesn't run full time.
And look at the traffic in front of Allmendinger. A nice overtaking into turn 1, but now you see 5, 6, 7 cars in front of him, Marty.
Plus 11 for A.J. Allmendinger up in the 19th position, trying to drag some of those cars that started in the back of the field through the field with him. So, Steve, one thing you can do always at road courses, if you're not worried about the championship points at all, like A.J. Allmendinger, you can flip the stages. In other words, pit a little bit early as A.J. goes for another spot here, trying to pass Brett Moffitt there for the 17th position. But you can pit early before the end of a stage, come up with track position. That's what they plan to do all day long in the 16, and why not? They're not racing for championship points. As A.J. told me, I'm racing to kiss the bricks. That's it.
Yeah, I like that strategy. And when we use the word strategy, it's going to be chaotic all day long, Rick. We're going to have 4 or 5 different plans we'll have to just keep an eye on. But Here it is. We knew it was bound to happen. The 22 of Cindric inside the 7, but Allgaier not giving up the position.
Does he cross him over? Cindric with a good run off the turn.
Take the bottom here. He's on your quarter. All the way down.
Now a drag race down the front stretch. Cindric with the advantage. He's on the inside of Allgaier. He's going to make the pass. Cindric out front at Indy.
A lot will be made of the 22 of Cindric and how successful he's been on the road courses. But Justin Allgaier, his road course numbers are impressive as well, and he's showing why. He, concedes that position to the 22, but is able to stay within touch of the 22's rear bumper.
Yeah, this is an opportunity, I'd say, for the 7 of Allgaier to learn. Wasn't quite as fast as the 22 in practice, but here's an opportunity for him to find some more speed around this racetrack watching Cindric.
5 laps in, Cindric has gone from 10th to 1st at Indy. We just saw Scott Dixon win the NTT Indycar Series race here on the road course. It rolls to Road America in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin next weekend. Can he stay perfect? Coverage Saturday on NBCSN and Sunday on NBC. Home Indy 500.
What a great shot. Thanks to our friends at Team Penske, bringing both Menard's cars out. You see the Indy car, the Xfinity car next to it. It's very obvious the difference, the height, the sleekness, the size, the weight. It's great to believe that we've got to see both of these on the same circuit. You see the difference, right? Half the weight. That's a big point. Half the weight for an Indy car. Horsepower is reasonably the same, but look at the miles per hour. An Indy car goes around here basically 30 miles an hour faster on average just because of the weight and the downforce. It's actually fascinating to me to watch both disciplines on the same track.
Speaking of discipline, how about Austin Cindric? He's starting to pull away now from the field, pulls away from Justin Allgaier. You know, Cindric just 21 years old, and we've already talked about his successes on road courses. And we look at Alex Lebay in the 90,
You know, Rick, a lot's made about AJ Allmendinger, but Alex has done a nice job. He's already plus 12 positions, and I don't think people are surprised by that. This is a 27-year-old from Quebec, Canada, who was the 2017 Pinty Series champion. That is the Canadian Series. They run a lot of road courses. We've seen Alex have pace at the road courses before, and he's showing it here at a new venue.
Yeah, he ran 6th at the Roval last year, and remember now, he's one of those bubble drivers right around that 15th. He's in 15th. 36 points out of the playoffs coming into this race. It's a great opportunity today to gain some points on those guys. Marty.
And Dale, that's exactly the point I was going to make. Alex will tell you, hey, I view this as a massive opportunity for us. And when the Xfinity Series schedule originally came out, 5 road course races, he was so excited. Now, obviously, with COVID-19, they don't know if there'll be 5 road course races, but he knows today is a big opportunity for him. As you guys mentioned, top 10 at the Roval last year. Alex trying to gain some points on that cut line right now in 9th.
And if this race gets aggressive, I can promise you that Penny Series, those guys are aggressive. That is some really hardcore racing. So if he has to do that, he can. I've seen him do it, and that series trains you and teaches you exactly how to do it and still keep all the fenders on the car.
Jeff, did you say if this race gets aggressive?
Being optimistic.
We've heard so many drivers that have watched the Xfinity Series race, Cup drivers have said, man, these guys are aggressive out there.
Another guy trying to claw into the playoff bubble battle, Jeremy Clements. He was fast in both practices yesterday, getting hounded by AJ right here, but he's also moved forward, coming all the way from 21st, just like LeBay, moving forward with a fast car. Another opportunity for this driver to walk into the playoff battle.
He's on board here with AJ Allmendinger, the Nutrien AG Solutions camera, looking out at that 51 of Clements. You know, Dale, when we talk about drivers and their stories, it's really amazing to me that Jeremy Clements is even in this 51 car. Back in 2004, this is a driver that had his hand nearly severed off in an accident in a dirt late model. The drive shaft broke, came through the floorboard. It took over 10 surgeries to repair that hand, a year of physical therapy, and this young man got back into a race car, a 3rd-generation racer. Talk about desire to be on the sport, coming back from just a horrific accident. Kelly.
And as you know, a small family-run team there for Jeremy Clements. His father, Tony, tells me he has all the confidence in the world in him. If he could just get in the better equipment, he thinks he could win. So how did Jeremy Clements prepare for this race? Well, some of the drivers from big teams spent endless hours on professional racing simulators. Jeremy Clements whipped out the Xbox. He said he was on Forza, found this track, and was playing it even as recently as last night. I said, did it pay off at all? He said, you'd be surprised how realistic it is, but nothing compares to those expensive manufactured simulators that other drivers had the benefit of.
Xbox. That's the next tool for drivers to use.
So AJ Allmendinger making that pass. Let's follow along. Let's show you guys this racetrack. Brand new to us too. Front straightaway, going backwards what we normally see at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. This is driving down into what is turn 1, but it would be turn 4 on the oval. Going backwards down the front straightaway, a 90-degree heavy braking corner. That's why we see such an opportunity to pass. See how much ground AJ Allmendinger made up right there. Then a very slow section. Another sharp right-hander. And then this part right here, heading to 5 and 6, is vital because of this back straightaway. Watch him jump this curb right here on the right side. Jumps that curb, leads him to the back straightaway.
Yeah, down this back straightaway into another heartbreaking zone. Similar to turn 1 is turn 7 for the left-hander, which sets up another back and forth. Turn 8 to the right. Going through turn 9, using a lot of curb here. These are just flat rumble strips. Turn 10, a 90-degree right-hander. And then a sweeping corner. Turn 11. Always loading that left rear tire, picking the right front up in the air, and braking here has got to be very crucial because you can slide that right front tire into turn 12. Turn 13 here, which leads into turn 14. Pit entrance right off to the right here. Long sweeper turn 14, but you can't use full throttle here. Trying to get the power down onto the front straightaway.
That's an awesome lap. This camera brought to us by our friends Nutrien Ag Solutions. Uh-oh, 15.
Jeffrey Earnhardt having a little smoke coming out of the back of that car.
Looks like he's broke the track bar.
Yes, that's exactly right. The rear end housing, you see the left rear tire up underneath the bodywork, the right rear tire showing. Well, there's a bar that goes across the back that holds that in position. Obviously, it's either come loose or broken. Maybe we'll have an idea if it happened on the track. Or no, it's already broken right there. So the smoke is more than likely just from the tire's rubbing. You see how much the right rear tire is sticking out of the body. It's unfortunate for Jeffrey. A little surprising, you know, this track pretty flat and the curbing's not really that large compared to, say, Watkins Glen, Road America, some other racetracks. You see Jeremy Clements in the 51, currently running in the 11th position. Let's listen in on the radio.
1, 2, we got a little hint of a smoke coming out the rear end. I couldn't tell where. Yes, he is. Looks like right rear, maybe. I'm not sure where the smoke's coming from, though.
That's about the same. Seems like just left-handers a little bit, not right.
It is on the left-handers.
It's funny they're talking about that. When we had the shot from Allmendinger's car, I thought there was some smoke, but I didn't know it was from tire lockup. It was in different places on the track, Rick. I could never figure out exactly what it was coming from.
3-second lead for the 22 of Austin Cindric here at Indy.
Cindric continues to lead here at Indy, but an unscheduled stop for Anthony Alfredo in that 21 car just moments ago, and it was a peculiar reason for his trip down pit road. Have a listen.
His window net fell down. 10-4, man, I copied you. If you can, try to grab with your left hand here and just get it latched up top. Don't worry about the back piece, just try to get it latched up top. All right, but just try to maintain it here as much as you can until they start talking to us. If you can, just try to push it down inside the car for now. If we pit, we're going to be screwed. The bar's about almost out of the car. If we lose that, then we're not going to have a brake or a bar to be able to hook to.
So that was that driver's side window net. You can see it's back up now, but it was a pretty lengthy pit stop. They took the time to service the car as well for Anthony Alfredo, but he needed some assistance from crew members to get that window net back up. And now the driver who started in the top 12 is now being scored 1 lap down.
Looks like Josh Williams had some issues on the racetrack as well. Misses turn 1. There's a little... Oh, he's going to turn around and come back. Also, the 36 car, Preston Pardis, missing turn 7, getting in the grass a little bit. Have to make sure that the grill is clean of any grass, debris there, and he should be fine.
One thing about this racetrack, there's a lot of runoffs here. You know, even in yesterday's practice, we saw a lot of drivers have trouble, but nobody hit anything. There's a lot of runoff, a lot of places to go. A little bit of a forgiving road course.
Yeah, the only concern is that grass on the grill. We saw that be a problem for a lot of those guys that did get off the racetrack in practice yesterday. Common here, whether you're on the road course or the oval in Indy.
One thing that's not forgiving at the moment is the pace that Austin Cindric is putting down as the leader, 2 seconds over Allgaier, but more importantly, almost 25 seconds over Alex LeBay in 10th. Why that matters, Rick, as we get close to the end of this stage, in about 5 laps, 6 laps, we'll see that green and white checkered. In a perfect world, you would come to pit road before the end of the stage, get your car serviced. When the caution comes out, you'll cycle back to where you want to be, but you're going to lose about a minute, about 60 seconds to come down pit road. So if you're not within 30 seconds the leader, you are going to lose a lap. So we'll have to see if it runs green to there. We've got some report out of smoke from the 8 of Jeff Burton.
Yeah, look at the left side rear quarter panels.
I'm doing power steering. My power steering's messed up.
Oh boy.
He got hit in the left side, it looks like.
Well, that smoke looks like, I see the damage, but the smoke looks like it's coming out of the left front tire, and he's talking about a power steering issue. So maybe smoke is normally fluid. So I would imagine a power steering line or the pump has broken. Man, that's going to be very, very tough. We talk about the differences between race cars. These big, heavy, overpowered cars, very difficult to run without power steering. It is physically possible to turn the car, but not to be able to run at any sort of pace as you see Jeb off the pace.
Steve, you mentioned strategy and stops. We saw in the Indycar series a 3-stop strategy work for them. Will we see 3 stops, 2 stops, or potentially even 1 stop here?
I think you're probably going to see 2 or 3 stops.
Bring it to us when you can.
Sounds like the 8's coming to pit road. You have to wonder if he's putting fluid on the racetrack as the smoke gets bigger. The big difference is, Rick, the length of the pit stops. We watch that IndyCar race. Those pit stops happen right away, 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds. It's going to take these NASCAR pit crews upwards of 12, 13, 14 seconds. It's a little awkward here. The driver is away from pit road, backwards. That's backwards from what we'd see a standard NASCAR pit stop.
We're going to see the 8s make the right turn here, go directly onto pit road access right there.
We're going to talk a lot about this access road. Still no speed. We hear him rev the engine right up. Pit road speed doesn't begin until all the way around the corner at this yellow line. Not a big situation for Jeff Burton with a mechanical issue, but as we see the leaders pit, we got to remember that access road.
Remember, Jeb only runs a partial schedule, so it's very disappointing for him not having a chance to run every week and have a mechanical issue. Let's go follow along with A.J. Allmendinger.
All these leaders come before the end of the stage. You want to come, Chris? I'll have to create the buffer for you.
If 22 gives up the stage, we come in with him. The only one I'm worried about is 22. So, Doug, you have to let me know on the 22.
Chris Rice there, the general manager of Colleague Racing, talking a little strategy.
The race within the race, you heard Chris Rice say, I am racing the 22, which means he feels he has a car he can win, which would be battling the 22. I tell you, another driver doing a nice job. Jeff, your son Harrison in this 20, having a heck of a year, a couple wins. I know he doesn't claim to be a road course racer, but he's taking it easy here early, staying inside the top 10. Oh, more issues for the 36.
Yeah, 36 of Preston Pardis around, but back out onto the track. No caution. 4 laps to go in stage 1. This is how Preston Pardis got off track.
Just trying to carry too much speed. Just never could get it slowed down. Round he went. Steve, the pit strategy is tough because these guys are racing for points and they want to get those points, but they also want to position themselves for a better finish of the race. So that's going to be kind of a give and take for these crew chiefs.
Yeah, you have to decide who you're racing whether you think you have a car that can win the race, whether you're trying to gain points in the stages. There's a lot of different, not just strategies as far as the best for your team, but what's your goal? We see the 78 of Vinnie Miller seems to have a right front flat. Now this should bring everyone to pit road. That tire ends up on the racetrack and could be debris. If I'm one of the leaders, I'm calling my car to pit road right here if I have the opportunity.
Yeah, it looks like he's early in his lap as well. So he's got a long ways to go to be able to make it back around. Oh, there it is.
Yep. You're right, Steve. Spotters need to be seeing that. Pit. Tell them to pit right now.
Knowing that a caution will be coming out potentially for that debris that's on the racetrack.
Yeah, the 22 stayed on the racetrack. Surprisingly, the 18 was on pit road.
And now the caution comes out.
Oh. Missed opportunity there, Steve.
Yeah, surprised Cindric didn't come to pit road as Vinnie Miller tries to limp the 78 back.
You see the 19 did get on pit road, and the 16 got on pit road too. We had to confirm that they got on pit road before the caution came out.
Okay, so why does that matter, Jeff? Very simply. In a perfect world, you have come to pit road under green flag conditions, anticipating the yellow to come out. You come in, you get your service, you stop. When you return to the racetrack, everyone in front of you still needs fuel and tires. So when they come down pit road under yellow perhaps, you're going to restart in front of them. We see the 16 of AJ Allmendinger on pit road now. This is a long entry to pit road, so I don't know if he had already committed before the yellow came out. We're going to have to go back and review that.
Yeah, that's the key.
Marty.
And that's what we're going to go check too. They think they did beat the pace car or beat the caution onto pit road. AJ had driven into the top 10 and he drove all the way through pit road, we're being told, so did not stop. So AJ Allmendinger, who had driven all the way into the top 10 here, drives through pit road trying to get on before that caution. And a couple of cars did that. Brandon Jones as well driving through pit road here.
All right, so Rick, quick update on the rules. At an oval track, you try to get to pit road before the yellow flag comes out. If it doesn't, you can go down pit road with no penalty. Remember that access road we talked about? AJ probably knew he was stuck, but the problem is there's nowhere for him to go. So you're going to see right here, AJ's going to peel off to the right, and you see the light is already flashing red. So just unfortunate timing for AJ. Didn't know if he didn't see it or thought he could beat it. I like the gamble, but the gamble's going to hurt him.
And once you commit, which was at that dashed white line, he's on pit road. He can't come back off of it. We were told that by Wayne Otten, the series director, earlier today.
Yeah, you're committed. Once you see the car on the left-hand side, Vinnie Miller with the bright orange nose. That's the access road, your entrance to pit lane.
And so it will be 2 to go in stage 1. Austin Cindric out front. NASCAR on NBC is brought to you by Tractor Supply Company, providing pet food, animal feed, and gardening supplies. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR, perfect for race fans. Indianapolis, Indiana, as the cars continue to roll around the road course under caution, the first one of the day. And coming up on the end of the stage, and I know that you guys have been questioning, would they open pit road prior to the end of this stage?
In the past, they have kept pit road closed until the end of the stage, so everybody has the same opportunity. We'll see if they open it here. I think we're hearing they're going to keep it closed as well. That's a great decision by NASCAR. Basically, don't force the teams to decide whether you have to pit or not. Just end the stage, award their points, and then continue to race from here.
So that means Austin Cindric will get his 4th stage win of 2020. He only had 3 stage wins in his career entering this season, so pretty big for Austin Cindric. He's looked dominant already in this race as far as stage 1 goes, but the guy that's getting a little bit closer each lap is A.J. Allmendinger.
Riding on board with AJ. I've been impressed with his patience. You know, I would have thought AJ would have really attacked early, but the few moves I saw that he makes, he kind of gave positions away, passes he could have made. I think he understands, even though 62 seems like a short race, Jeff, you got to be around, right? You have to have fenders on your car to compete, and he's done a nice job.
Yeah, that's right. And I think, listen, A.J. Allmendinger is a great road racer, really out here just racing for fun, right? No pressure. He pitted. We talked about him pitting. What that has done, that's got him back in 12th spot. He was running in 8th. So it lost him 4 spots is what that penalty was for taking the gamble to try to come down pit road.
And we asked AJ, what's the difference between Indycar and Xfinity Series cars on the road course?
The biggest difference is Indycar, it's about half the weight as an Xfinity car, about the same horsepower, but ultimately you got bigger tires, ground effects, so like an Indy car is sucked down to the ground. An Xfinity car, it slides around, it's big, it's heavy. So put it in layman's terms, think about going on an on-ramp. You're in a street car, got a Corvette, thing's sucked down to the ground, you're matting the throttle, that thing's digging, it's car sliding, good grip off the corner. You get an Xfinity car, it's almost like an SUV, a minivan. Still trying to be aggressive with it, but that car's rolling, it's sliding, the tires are screaming. That's basically what it feels like, the differences between an Indy car and an Xfinity car. Still the same aggression, still just as hard to drive both equally as fast, but a complete different feel when you're sitting in those 2 seats.
Great explanation. Marty.
I've never heard an Xfinity Series car compared to an SUV before, but hey, it made sense when AJ explained it to me. Hey, Jeff, you talked about him and the patience coming through the field. He told me that's one key that he has to have. But one thing he comes into this race with is confidence, and AJ will admit that's something he struggled with in his career. So Chris Rice told me that he wants to put AJ in more oval races. He said the thing that gave him the most confidence was winning Atlanta. Finally getting that NASCAR oval win gave AJ so much confidence. And Jeff, you can echo this. I don't care how long you've been driving behind the wheel, you get a win, you get confidence, and that breeds confidence moving forward as well.
Winning cures everything, Marty. It just confirms to you that you know how to drive, confirms you have the ability. Confidence for a guy like A.J. Allmendinger, that's going to make him that much more dangerous.
Smile on his face, even though he won't finish in the top 10. This will be the end of stage 1, so Austin Cindric will get the win. Points being awarded to the top 10, so Allgaier, Haley, Briscoe, Gregson, Ross Chastain, Harrison Burton, Alex LeVay, Jeremy Clements, and Ryan Sieg all finishing up in top 10. So Penske wins stage 1. That's right, Austin Cindric behind the wheel of Penske's number 22. Dwayne Johnson brings Super Bowl champion Victor Cruz and Ninja Warrior Jesse Graff to take on all comers to become the next Titan champion. That's the Titan Games Monday on NBC. Guys getting ready to go over the wall here for pit stops. And we'll see everybody with the exception of 2 come to pit road, right, Steve?
Yeah, I believe everyone, all the leaders are going to come to pit road. A couple cars, the 19 and the 18 already performed service. They'll stay on the racetrack and get that track position. We're also hearing the 16 of Allmendinger, while he rolled down pit road, was caught speeding. So we'll have to see what NASCAR's penalty, that should be the tail end. So now it's in the pit crew's hands. If you're this 22 pit crew, Rick, you're just looking for smooth. You have the best car. Just put some 4 tires on this thing, nice and smooth. Kelly.
Justin Allgaier led the first couple of laps here today. He said he's good under braking, but he's losing rear lateral grip. He asked for an ice bag and a drink. He said it is hot in here. Meanwhile, Austin Cindric in that bright yellow number 22 has led 18 laps. His car is doing everything he wants it to do. So he said no changes, just 4 fresh Goodyear tires, Marty.
On your screen, Justin Haley says his car is way too tight. They're in the 3rd position. You saw Noah Gragson kind of flash in to his stall beneath him. He also is having trouble getting the car into 2nd gear. We'll see where he comes out here off the race off pit road. But Steve, having trouble getting it into 2nd gear, that would worry me here at a road course like that for Justin Haley.
That's very concerning. Both ends of the racetrack, both slow sets of corners are 1st and 2nd gear corners. So seconds used a lot as the 11 stalls it. Oh, and they're stacked up. He can't go. This is a narrow pit road, and now these guys are coming down it backwards. So completely different than normal. It looks like that's Briscoe first off pit road, Jeff.
This is the most narrow pit road in the series. Also one of the longest as well. The box are actually really long, easy to get into and get out of, but if there's no room to pull out, got to be careful. You can get a lot of fender damage, quarter panel damage.
Big gains right there by Briscoe and Harrison. They both were on the far end of pit road. They all had to stop, and that enabled them to just roll out in front of everybody. That was a huge advantage.
Yeah, the 07 of Jade Buford stops right here, and so that confusion right there was the issue.
So I think Justin Haley did the right thing there. If I'm the crew chief calling the 11 out, you have to concede the car coming in. You cannot pull out in front of him. I know he's frustrated for losing the spots, but nice job, no damage.
So pit stops complete for those that were on the lead lap as we see Justin Haley decide he wants to get rid of his water bottle. Just before the Xfinity Series was on this road course here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, it was the NTT Indycar Series, and once again Scott Dixon has dominated to get the win. That's 2 wins on the 2020 season, and he is joining Mike Tirico and DJ.
Rick, thank you. It's 48 wins in his career. Only Mario and AJ have more. You'd finish in this road course race 2nd 3 times in a row, so you were definitely due. You told me before we got started down on the grid that it was going to be a strategy race. Strategy worked out for you guys today.
It definitely worked out. You know, I think we kind of put ourselves into a bit of a hole, I think, between the choice of tires. You know, when we looked at and saw what came out from how cars were going to grid up, we were like, we're in a bit of trouble here. But it actually made us pit early. You know, it kind of put us on that cycle. We had to commit to a 3-stopper, and you know, it kind of played into it a little bit later when, you know, we pitted 3 laps later, that caution came out, and then we were, you know, off sailing because of the strategy we'd started with as well. You know, a lot of the other people that we had to try and pass were still on blacks. We had the red, the better, grippier tire, and we could take off. So, yeah, I don't know. It was just, we met, you know, kind of downstairs there, walking past each other, and you must have given me the luck. You
gave me 20-second answer. It was the whole story. Thanks, by the way.
Yeah, congratulations, Scott. And I mean, your career has just been outstanding. But my question is going to be about your crew chief. But you had to still go do the job, as you were pointing out, once you got you in a good position to go win this race. But it's still not that easy. My question is, as a driver in the past, when my crew chief helped get me that position that I needed, you give him that credit and everything, but does this buy him a pass sometime whenever he doesn't make that right call to do things?
let's put it, I'll maybe buy him a couple of beers tonight. We'll leave it at that. But no, it's a new team for us. A lot of new, different people. Mike Cannon is first time in this, the PNC back number 9 this year. But it was huge. I think that call between him and Mike Hull and Chip Ganassi, they're all on my stand. So it gets a little bit chaotic, but. It's just one of those days that what we picked just worked. And when you get seasons like that, for us now to start the season off with 2 wins in the PNC Bank number 9, man, we got to keep this rolling.
As some rain comes down, they get ready to go to green. What were you seeing as you were up here watching the last few laps of that first stage? Give me your impression watching the Xfinity cars on the road course.
I can't thank Roger Penske, everybody at NASCAR and Xfinity and the NTT IndyCar series. How cool is it to see these categories all here on one weekend? There's been a lot about it. A lot of talk about it for the past few years that might happen. Unfortunately, the fans aren't here to witness it, but I can't. It's so exciting to be here. I love watching these cars. The pit stops are crazy. Like ours are, gone, but the running around the car is, I love any kind of or form of motor racing, and these series are just so competitive, and I watch them. My wife gets angry at me because I'm always watching these NASCAR races.
Good deal. Well, you were watching the 7 and the 11 as they were dancing in the pit stall, and as Dale Jr. said, the narrowest one, you just smile like, yep. Talk about it all the time.
It happens.
Good going. Congratulations. Good luck next couple of weeks. See you back here in August for the 500.
I can't wait. Hopefully see you guys soon. Thank you so much.
Same here. Congratulations. Scott Dixon, winner of the IndyCar race here earlier today. Rick, back to you.
And again, a historic weekend. IndyCar, Xfinity, and Cup all here at the same racetrack on the same weekend. And we just heard the possibility of rain, the clouds overhead. What does that mean, Steve?
Well, so rain is an ugly 4-letter word when it comes to racing, but not on the road courses. We're going to continue. So if we do see rain, this race will continue. You are required to have a red running light in your rear window so every other car can see you. You have to have a windshield wiper. You could put these grooved rain tires you see right here on your screen, and you hopefully will have a defogger. Remember, these are closed cockpit, Marty, so vision can be an issue if rain does show up.
Steve, this is where we hope you did your work back at the shop to prepare for what looked like a 0% chance of rain today. But you know what? Yes, sprinkling right now. There is rain in the area. Xfinity Series teams have 2 sets of rain tires to use today. And if NASCAR declares it a wet race, they would come in and put those rain tires on. And when you put those rain tires on, you can lose spots on pit road. So teams learned that a few years ago, Kelly, at Watkins Glen. Remember, it was 2 years ago where they did have a rain race at Watkins Glen. If it rains, Kelly, it's going to be eventful.
Could be fun. All right, so Brandon Jones has assumed the lead of this race in that 19 car. When I asked his crew chief, Jeff Mendering, what his biggest concern was today, he said weather. He said not only does Brandon have very little experience in wet, he's not the greatest road course racer, and he said we've got a really aggressive setup that would just not do well in the rain. And you heard Mike Tirico say there are some drops coming down, so this could get very interesting in a hurry.
Yeah, Rick, you talked about having the car ready. Well, what about the driver? I mean, there's a lot of drivers in this field today. They have never raced in the rain. So if we do get rain, it will be a major change in this race. It'll be a great opportunity to learn, but I'm not sure I want to learn under fire like that.
Brandon Jones in the 19, Riley Herbst in the 18. They now make up row 1 as we get ready for the restart. And again, the possibility of precipitation, things amping up as we get ready for the start of stage 2.
Briscoe to the inside here.
How aggressive will he be? Chase Briscoe in that 98. Can he take the lead away? He does, and here comes Cindric right behind him.
Be interesting to see how Briscoe does out here in front of Cindric. Cindric's been faster all weekend in practice, but Briscoe, no slouch on the road courses himself.
We talked to Briscoe. He said he was focused on this race, had been running in the simulator every Wednesday since February. He's been running the Indianapolis road course, an Indiana driver. He'd love to go to victory lane at the Brickyard.
Talked about his hero when he was here for his first Brickyard 400. His hero, Tony Stewart, won and climbed the fence. He said, hey, if I win, I'm climbing that fence.
Missed the corner just a little bit there in turn 10, coming through 11. Will the 22 try to pass here on the inside to 12?
Looks inside. Right behind them is Noah Gregson.
Oh, 98 misses it again.
No harm, though. That part of the racetrack is so slow that he still kept everybody behind him.
That 9 of Gregson told us he looked for wow moments. He wants to lay it all on the line on the track. Well, this could be a wow moment right here if he takes the lead away from these two. But right now, the battle still between the 98 and the 22.
Big block right there by Briscoe. He took the inside lane.
A lot of debris down there picking up on them tires.
Not gonna let Cindric outbreak him.
Briscoe holding off Cindric as they go through 2, 3, and 4.
We heard Dale Jarrett at the top of the show talk about the passing opportunities and maybe the lack of passing opportunities. There are two big heavy braking areas. Both of our drivers have explained it. Heading into turn 7, this is one of them, Jeff. The left-hander down here heavy on the brakes.
Briscoe's watching that mirror right now, seeing if Cindric's going to try to sneak out a little bit. Briscoe wanted the roll. Good road racer. A lot of racing experience on road courses.
Cindric continues to put the pressure on him, though, to not make a mistake.
And Cindric's car is fast. Briscoe knows it. He's taking that line away.
Into turn 12.
He missed the corner right here earlier. Didn't miss it that time.
Look how tidy the 22 is, though. He just uses less racetrack. That tells me he's just patiently waiting for his opportunity here.
I'm still impressed with the 9 of Gregson running right there in third. He has not let these two get away from him.
Big run right here by Cindric. Briscoe knows it. Briscoe's just going to take that line completely away from him.
This is the preview, Rick. This is what we're going to see in the closing laps. If the 22 doesn't have that lead position, he's being pretty patient here. I've yet to see any bumper contact. I'm not sure that would. Oh, little tire smoke out of the 98.
Locked it up a bit there for Chase Briscoe. Maybe a little mistake.
And I mentioned Chase Briscoe, Indiana driver, a racing family. His dad has won over 150 sprint car races. Briscoe was the 2016 ARCA champ, so a lot of experience behind the wheel. Threw that number out. What did he say at the beginning of the year, Rick?
He said 8. He needed 8.
I don't know where he got 8 wins, but I might have set my number a little lower before I put that much pressure on myself. He's backing it up, though, with already having 4 as we see a car turned around. The yellow's out.
That's Bailey Curie in the 74.
Knocked a wire loose in the back or something.
It's not running, it sounds like. So the caution has come out once again.
Keep the net up.
Keep the net up, they say. The 23-year-old from Driftwood, Texas.
He's right here at turn 13, just before pit entrance. Field cruises by.
I'd love to tell you I knew that, Dale, but I'm still learning this racetrack as well. And without the full perspective, I was trying to figure out which end he was at.
And so the crews will get to the 74, probably push him back to pit road. And while we take a quick break on the racetrack, we'll take a quick break here as well. You're watching the Pennzoil 150 at the Brickyard. Something new for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. First time for them on this road course.
See on the upper left, a few cars coming to pit road. None of the leaders, though. Most of the guys middle and back of the pack.
So
AJ Allmendinger.
Yeah, AJ Allmendinger. He's got his work cut out for him again.
Whew. So not this yellow, but the caution before. He came down pit road, had to roll through. And long story short, he was too fast one of those trips, had to go to the back. He's recovered so far, back up to 17th, but he's definitely winning the fictional award of passing the most cars. Not the award you want, unless, of course, you pass everyone.
The right, feel good about it. The right one at the end of the race. Let's find out where Rutledge Wood is around this racetrack.
Rick, I'm just inside turn 7, and it's a little bit of a misnomer. We said there were no fans here today, and in the stands that's correct. But around all of these turns in white are the corner workers, and every single one of those men and women are huge race fans, so much so that they donate weekends all over the country to help make sure everybody understands, hey, there's a local on this corner, you got to watch out. They're super helpful. We want to give them a little love. And behind me, you might also notice all of the spotters. Now, earlier we saw with the Indycar race, there were no spotters over here. So here for the NASCAR Xfinity race, there's 3. But I wonder, guys, when they increase the curbing here on turn 7 and change really the whole apex of that turn, is that why they had to add a set of spotters over here? Because IndyCar did not have a spotter here.
My strategy as a crew chief would be put a spotter anywhere I thought the passing zone would be. I would say Dale and Jeff, you know, if it's not your primary spotter, I won't want that guy to tell you whether you're getting past or not, but let you know there's pressure. So then you as a driver have to use your mirrors and decide how much you want to block.
Exactly, yeah. You got to have people up there you trust.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, you know, me and TJ, when we worked to get several different spotters at Indianapolis Speedway, we were talking about that weeks in advance on who we could find, who we could get, who we trusted, who we believed in.
We saw the 07 of Jay Buford have an issue on pit road. A little confusion there as Justin Haley was coming out, he was coming in. They stopped. You know, we mentioned that this is his first run at Xfinity, but the American Ninja Warrior is not foreign to racing. He has plenty of racing experience. The 32-year-old from Houston, Texas has raced in many different series. And of course, a couple times he has competed for the American Ninja Warrior.
Rick, I think you should do that next.
You know I'm 51.
I'll video it. I'll video it.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. All right, coming back to the restart. Austin Cindric in that fluorescent yellow. Number 22 on the outside. As the green flag waves, it's Cindric and Chase Briscoe as they will have a drag race down into turn number 1.
Cindric's getting a lot of help on that outside line down in the braking zone.
They go side by side, and Cindric with the advantage as they bottleneck there through 1. Cindric has the lead. Riley Herbst up there in the 18, and here comes Noah Gragson again in the 9.
Make a note, what lane do you want to be in for a late restart at 22? Why he's the outside of the first corner. He's the inside for turn 2, Jeff. I actually think that's an advantage to make a pass.
Yeah, it looked like that outside lane went really well. Myatt Snyder, big move. I think he's all the way up to like 7th or 8th from that outside lane. Now look at that restart, though.
Yeah, they're going to look again at that.
Remember what the rules are. The leader of the race has to start. He has to start first. He has to launch before the guy in second. The 98's the leader.
Looks like, man, it's hard to say. It looked like the 98 and the 22 went around the same time, but then there's a stumble or something on the 98. The 22 to have an advantage.
22 looked like he backed off, but there was a car behind him right away that wasn't allow him to back off.
Be interesting to see how they call that one.
So Cindric still out front. Then it's Chase Briscoe, Riley Herbst, Noah Gragson, and Justin Allgaier are running in the top 5.
Hey, y'all talk about Myatt Snyder back there in 9th. Oh, they're posting the 22.
We're hearing that NASCAR has penalized the 22 for that restart. So Steve, pass-through penalty for the 22?
Have to do a pass-through penalty for jumping the start.
Take about 35 seconds or so. You hear Cindric very upset, claims he's being pushed. So, Jeff, you mentioned it. So, basically, the leader brings the field into the restart zone. Red markers on the wall. Anywhere from the first line to the last line, he can accelerate. So you see there's a 1 line and then there's 2 red lines here. Actually, I saw 3 red lines, so I'm not sure if that's the outside. Here we go. This is better.
The cones in the wall. The cones sticking to the fence would be a good indication. There's the first one. There's the second one.
Well, you talk about different circuits. That's a thing. You know, at some of the ovals, the restart zone is very defined for me. Obviously, the drivers knew where they were. I didn't recognize which line it was, but the leader has the opportunity to accelerate first. NASCAR feels the 22 went before the 98, so he'll be penalized. Kelly.
And Austin Cindric pretty heated on the radio. He says he was on the brakes. He said the 18 was pushing him all the way through that restart zone. And at first, his crew chief said, hey, we're not going to win this one. But now they have called him off from serving that penalty right away. They said, we have 3 laps to serve it. We're looking at the footage, and we're going to continue to argue our point.
So I like the strategy of not coming. Not because of argument. I don't think you're going to overturn it. But if you're lucky enough to get a yellow, you can serve your penalty under yellow. So there's no reason not to, not to wait your 3 laps.
But he did mention that the 18 was pushing him. And so he's trying to say that, hey, I backed off, the 18 pushed me. So NASCAR now is going to look again at it and just make sure that they have the accurate penalty for this situation.
Well, let's go back and look at it again. This is one of those positions that I am glad I'm not a NASCAR official.
And that official that's down in their pit box, he will convey the message.
Here we go.
Look again.
Who launches first? That's really the question. Who launches first? From that view right there, it's pretty clear to me that the 22 of Cindric was the first one to launch. If he launched first, then that is not what he's supposed to be doing. The 98 is supposed to launch first.
Yeah,
Here they are.
Totally. Look, the 18 is right on the bumper, but watch right here. The 22, the 18's on the bumper. The 22 is going to leave the 18's bumper. And as he starts to leave the bumper, right there, that's accelerating.
That little surge you saw from the 98, that was when the 9 hit the 98. So, but he wasn't going. But I don't know, in fairness to Austin Cindric, I don't know that he could know that.
Right.
He saw that lurch, just that, little bit of a forward movement from the 9 hitting him, and then he went. So sometimes in racing, just bad stuff happens, and that could have been simply just that. He just saw the 98 move forward, and then he accelerated. Kelly.
Crew Chief Brian Wilson reminding Austin not to speed here while serving his penalties, that don't make it any worse than it already is. Serve this penalty, and then you're going to have to go like heck so we can hit again under greens. But Austin Cindric's going to have a lot of ground to make up, which could make for an exciting race for us to watch.
Well, Rick, we talk about a new facility and mistakes. So who were the favorites? Cindric, Allmendinger. Cindric, Allmendinger. They're the 2 you have to beat. Well, the 2 of them currently have beat themselves. One with a speeding penalty, one with a restart penalty. I do expect to see both of them matriculate back to the front over the second half of this race. But if you're Chase Briscoe in the 98, if you're the 9 of Noah Gragson, the door has opened up. Opportunity has been presented. Can they take advantage?
So now it is Chase Briscoe that is out front with Noah Gragson running in the 2nd spot as we go NASCAR nonstop. Peacock, NBC Universal's new streaming service, is filled with hit movies, current shows, sports, news, and exclusive originals. You can watch for free and upgrade for more. Join the flock at peacocktv.com. Still up front, it's Chase Briscoe, followed by Noah Gragson, Allgaier running in the 3rd position. Riley Herbst is 4th. And Justin Haley right here as we ride along with him on the leaf filter gutter protection on board. Haley running in the 5th position right now.
See 18 car Riley Herbst locking that left front up. Crew chief said Riley didn't have a lot of experience road racing, but he's doing really well right now, running 4th.
Haley's been running really good all race long. He's gaining a lot of speed and knowledge and understanding from A.J. Allmendinger, his teammate. A.J.'s been helping him dial these cars in as they plan to come here and get the setups worked in and unloaded really fast. All team cars for Carl Eager running quick this weekend. Chastain as well right there behind these guys.
Justin Haley has 2 wins in NASCAR's upper divisions. Surprisingly, only one of them from the Xfinity Series. The other one is from the Cup Series. He got a win at Daytona on a rain-shortened race. Take a look at Xfinity Series teams wins. And Colleague Racing right there 3rd on the list behind Joe Gibbs Racing and Stewart Haas Racing. You'd say behemoths of the teams. And then Colleague Racing just started up recently, has had a lot of success, Marty.
Justin Haley in that white number 11 leaf filter Chevy. And yeah, Rick, you talk about those wins. 1-year anniversary of their first ever win is today. So
Justin's big fire out of Brandon Jones. The 19 off into the grass. Flames were rolling out from underneath that car.
A lot of oil. You see on the racetrack, right behind him in that track. A lot of oil on the racetrack.
Turn 9 here. He climbs out of the racetrack, out of the race car.
He's running 9th.
The fire suppression systems on these cars, very impressive, because we saw the flames rolling out from underneath that car.
Look at the back tail, the discoloring. That tells me there's fluid, probably oil all over that. Kelly.
And Steve, you tell me if this could be related, but a handful of laps ago, Brandon came over the radio and said it feels like the car does not want to stop when I use the brakes. He says, I have no faith in them.
Interesting. I don't know if they are related or not, but maybe it was a mechanical failure that caused an oil leak. Maybe it's not an oil fire. Maybe it's a brake fire. Maybe brake fluid caught on fire. The discoloring on the back could be just from the burnt paint.
We're seeing the AMR safety team right there helping out Brandon Jones.
Brandon's had a rough couple weeks. Won that truck race a week ago in Pocono, then wrecked the first lap of the Xfinity race. Looking for a little bit of a bounce back here.
Fortunately for him, though, he's got that win early in the season to lock himself into the playoffs. But let's see what's happening here on board of the Nutrien Ag Solutions
9 to
car.
go, correct? 9 to
You
go.
see fluid
Yeah,
all over the camera here. He's got big problems with.
You saw the 20 behind him. He was also very loose following the 19.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, so all that discoloring on the tail was from the fire. You see it wrap up around. That's how the air works out from underneath the back of these cars. I think Kelly might be onto something. I wonder if he didn't have a brake failure, or if that's not brake fluid or something catching on fire, Jeff. You know, oil, you would think it would keep burning or burn more. There's a ton of oil, 5 gallons of oil in these race cars. That seemed like a pretty quick flash, like maybe it was more the amount of brake fluid.
So they'll hook up to the 19 and pull that back into the garage area where Joe Gibbs Racing team will take a look at what happened there. But Brandon Jones, a quick end to his day.
I see this as an opportunity for Austin Cindric. You know, they had that penalty on the restart. Well, now with the yellow, the field's closed back up. Maybe they could come to pit road, try to do something to get themselves back in this race. He's all the way back in the 25th position.
You can see right there under braking, he missed his marks and then never got going again. Knew he had a problem. Yeah, but you just can't tell where that fire's coming from, though. You can't tell if it's coming from the left front. I don't know. I think that almost has to, I don't know that brake fluid would, you'd have that much brake fluid in the whole front of the car. I think that almost has to be oil.
Well, he's locked up the front brakes there.
Yeah, exactly.
Great point. Great point. You know what I've learned, regardless? Wherever the fire came from, no good, Rick.
It's bad. Under a break, we'll be right back. And the safety crew just getting the 19 towed back through the grass. And while they're doing that, we'll go to Rutledge Wood.
Rick, I was over there by the spotters. They told me to take a hike, literally and figuratively, and that's exactly what I did. I'm over here now in front of the museum. Now, something really interesting, when Roger Penske bought IMS, the museum is actually a totally separate entity. It's a 501(c) charity, and it is an amazing place. Take a look inside it, just some of the incredible history that exists in here. And honestly, it doesn't matter what kind of racing you like, there is absolutely something for everybody. Seeing the turbine cars, they really take off if you're a fan of the old Offie setups. There's just so much here that is true living history. The vents on some old brake drums, or even Larry Viscaglia's old 51 Chevy and then a 67 Ford, that he used to be the guy that would wait in line to be the very first person to get his tickets to the Indy 500. And in 1967, that's what the track gave him to say thank you. I mean, that guy was a legend just for being a fan of the sport. Something we all know, it's the most important part of all of this stuff. And the museum and me and everybody else here at NBC, we can't wait to get the fans back inside the track and enjoy it. But boy, it is exciting here today, Kelly.
Red cars coming down pit road. Justin Allgaier pits from the third position. The air pressure adjustment the team made last time has made his center of the corners way too tight, and he's considerably looser getting off the turns, so they went back on that air pressure adjustment for Goodyear tires, Marty.
Long debate between Noah Gragson and Dave Ellens all year long. They have gone for stage points, but Dave Ellens said, I think track position is more important today. Here they come down pit road, giving up those stage points, in all likelihood taking 4 fresh Goodyear tires. Meanwhile, Chase Briscoe slides to a stop in his stall. He asked Greg Cipadelli, he told him the car was definitely coming to him, but still a little bit freezed. And I feel like on the long run, we will be very good. 4 fresh Goodyear tires, and we'll see if Chase Briscoe can hold the lead off of pit road, and he does. Justin Allgaier gains a spot as well.
Allgaier pitting way at the front of pit road, and at the very back was Chase Briscoe. He wins the race off of pit road. Issue for the 9 team, though, Noah Gragson. And a little trip there by the crew.
It's going to be a short sprint to the end of stage 2 here in Indianapolis, and a jumbled up lineup. Everyone did not come to pit road. We have Sieg, Annette, Brandon Brown, Josh Balicki on the front 2 rows on old tires, trying to steal some points at the end of the stage, while the faster cars, the 98 of Briscoe, the 22 of Cindric, Allmendinger, the guys we've seen have speed, will be mired back in the field. This one's going to be crazy, Rick, heading down to turn 1.
Getting ready to come back for the restart. It will be 2 to go in stage 2. Can these guys hold off some of the hard chargers with fresh Goodyear tires?
This is going to be tough. Keep your eye on that bright yellow 22 machine in the middle of the field. He's going to be making moves.
The 98 as well as the 7 also right in the middle of the pack, running about 8th right now. They go into 1, 3, 4 wide. And a lot of contact. Allgaier getting shoved out in that 7. In the 99 of Josh Balicki, heavy contact. We see part of the back bumper of the 68 of Brandon Brown almost falling off. And now it flies off.
Looks like it landed in the grass, so I don't expect the yellow.
Still out front is Ryan Sieg. Here comes Allgaier in that 7. A lot of smoke blocking the brakes up there back behind him. One more lap to go.
How about Briscoe came to get tires and already attacking Sieg for the race lead. Chase Briscoe back to the point.
Sieg stayed out, one of those drivers around that playoff bubble, trying to get some stage points here. Hang on to that second place spot. That'd be a big deal for that team.
Remember, Briscoe's coming from 7th to take this lead.
So Briscoe, Sieg, and there you see the 9 of Gregson off into the grass.
All that work he did, now he's got to go back and get all those spots back.
How'd it happen? Oh, he got hit by the 13. Timmy Hill moved him out into the grass.
Yeah, we've seen drivers race through there side by side. It's like Noah missed the corner. Timmy went to the inside there.
Pulling away now. As you see, Chase Briscoe has lead over Ryan Sieg. Again, Sieg. Steve, though, good strategy here, staying out and getting stage points.
Great strategy for the 39, gains some stage points. If he can stay in second, even third, that's 8 or 9 points. Going to help him try to make the playoffs. As you see the 7 of Allgaier dive to the inside. At this point, the 39 is almost better to let him go. Don't get wrecked. Right behind this strategy.
Yeah, right behind these guys. Brandon Brown holding on to 7th place. He stayed out as well to try to get some stage points. He is right on top of that bubble for the playoffs.
I didn't think he could hold into the top 10, but he's proven me wrong. Even with the tail knocked off this 68 car right here, Brandon Brown doing a nice job.
And Steve, is that a required part for these guys? Will they have to come and put that back on?
That is a required part at all the high-speed ovals. We'll see what NASCAR rules here at the road course, whether they'll allow him to continue like they would at a short track, or whether they'll require him to put it back on.
So coming up, the green and white checkered flag goes to Chase Briscoe. 3rd stage win for him of 2020.
Good work on that restart, buddy. Nice.
Sieg, Brown, Balicki, Timmy Hill, Myatt Snyder, and Harrison Burton all collecting a couple points there. So Chase Briscoe, the hometown racetrack of Indy, in front of him as he wins stage 2. the famed Yard of Bricks tomorrow. The Cup Series returns to NBC. Race coverage from the Brickyard begins at 4 p.m. Eastern.
Rick, it's been a historic weekend here in Indianapolis with Indycar and NASCAR sharing the same track. So we figured let's do a little comparison. Indycar, NASCAR, a little bit more expensive to run the NASCAR series. The two cars, though, very different. Top speed of an Indycar around 240 miles per hour, while a NASCAR race car sees around 200 miles per hour at times. Much shorter. The Indycar only 40 inches tall versus 54 inches the roof height. This is the big difference in my mind, though, the weight. Almost half the weight for the Indycar now with the new aero screen there. We're completely open cockpit. Now they have that safer aero screen. And as we know, a full-body stock car, a closed cockpit area, which is usually a temperature thing. We've had that temp inside Haley's car. You see about 110 degrees. That was an issue for Scott Dixon in the IndyCar Grand Prix today. His helmet hose fell off, which before open cockpit, helmet hoses were not even a conversation in IndyCar. So they took a little stock car technology, tried to pump some fresh air to the helmet of the driver. He had problems with that, ran a little warm under the helmet, still ended up going to victory lane.
And we want to listen into Riley Herbst's radio.
That was the most BS thing I've ever seen in my life, Dave. Apparently, if you have the number 7 on your car, and you've been in a series for 15 years, you can choose to start wherever you want, and then that puts all the slow guys in front of you, and then you get used like an old dish rack by your teammates and put 4 wide on the top at the 7. It was just splendid. That was awesome.
So maybe a little frustration out of Riley there.
You know, listen, when you get back in that pack and you're supposed to be starting 11th or 10th or 12th, it is like every man for himself. And it's crazy. Like, drivers have gotten to the point where they just take whatever line they think they ought to be in, and there's really nothing you can do. But look at all this chaos. Look at.
Yeah, I saw all that contact between the 7 and the 99. And apparently Riley saw it as well.
Oh. Justin was.
Wow. Malicki slammed into him there.
Well, he was getting run into from behind, so.
Kelly.
You see Ryan Sieg in that number 39 car coming to pit road. He just picked up some valuable stage points. He hasn't said much about the car itself, though we've heard, but he's been critiquing himself, saying he's just driving into the corner too hard, which is killing his exit. So a lot of these drivers still trying to learn, especially on this new road course, Marty.
Brandon Brown, middle of your screen, he winds up gaining 5 stage points because of that, so they're going to come to pit road right here. And Michael Annett, on a day, Travis Mack, his crew chief, told me, if there's an opportunity for us to get stage points, we are going to do it. So this is a good one for Michael Annett, who winds up picking up 6 stage points for him. Nice pickup after stage 2 there. These guys who did not pit towards the end of stage 2, they got the points, now they're pitting.
They had an issue with the jack there. They couldn't keep the car up. Brandon Brown in that 68.
Well, Rick, you asked about the tail, and you see zero urgency out of the 68 car. So NASCAR is going to consider the road course like a short track and say, you know what? We're just happy you still have the fenders on it. We're not worried about the tail. The reason that the high-speed tracks is, I know it's going to be hard to believe, but crew chiefs in the past have had that tail fall off on purpose because it can be an aero advantage.
No.
I
don't believe it.
Surprises me, Steve.
I don't know who would do it.
Surprises me. Any advantage that you guys could find. What a view we have had already, and I think the guys that have the best view in the house have got to be Mike Tirico and DJ. And is James Hinchcliffe up there with you?
Yes, Hinch is here. We're all enjoying Hard to Believe with Steve Letarte. It's like a regular feature. We love that stuff. We showed Steve showing the difference in a NASCAR and an IndyCar and mentioned the aero screen. Was it hotter in there as you drove today? Finished 11th, by the way.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, it's a big, obviously, a safety advancement. We're all thrilled that it's there, but it does bring some new challenges, and the heat's the big one. We don't have the room in the car for a fan system. So we do have a hose hooked up to the helmet, but it's just sort of ram air from the speed you're getting out of the car. On a road course, you're going fast, you're going slow, the speed's not constant like an oval, so it was a little bit more of an issue today for sure.
James, we've seen in this race here today, the 2 favorites, kind of AJ Allmendinger and Austin Cindric, both having problems, making some mistakes, put them back in the field. The difficulty of driving back through on this particular road course, not a lot of passing opportunities.
No, I mean, obviously you got a nice big long straightaway down into turn one, but you still have to make it stick. I think that's one of the big challenges. You can get these big runs, but slowing these big, heavy stock cars down and not running wide, having the guy high-low you, that's a big challenge. So being back in the field is definitely going to be tougher. Track position's always going to be an advantage.
Good finish today. You're running a limited season. You're going to trade the wheel in for a microphone. We look forward to listening to you next few weekends on NBCSN.
Very excited. Yeah,
all right,
thanks
Hinch,
very
great
much.
to have you on the team.
Cheers,
James
guys.
Hincklage finished 11th today. Get ready to go green. We'll go back to Rick and the guys.
Mike, you have a mayor there with James Hinchcliffe. We have a mayor here with Jeff Burton. I tell you, it's a perfect situation. And Hinchcliffe will be a part of the pre-race show tomorrow with Rutledge Wood. So he has traded the steering wheel for a microphone. We're excited about that.
Looking at the points earned today, Justin Allgaier, 18 points. Briscoe, Haley. Look at Sieg. Awful in practice yesterday. 8 points already today. Great day by those guys.
Great strategy that they have made work.
I was going to say, Rick, as we come to this restart with 20 to go, we talk a lot about strategy. Well, here it is. No more stages, no more breaks. 20 laps to the trophy.
Once they cross the line, it'll be 19 to go, and we're back underway. The final stage, Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. Briscoe on the inside, trying to take advantage of that line. Allgaier dives in, right on his quarter panel. Justin Haley there as well.
Harrison Burton right there in the mix in front of Cindric, having a nice day.
Haven't mentioned a lot about him, but the 93 Myatt Snyder up there also running for the RSS, the Sieg family team this week. He runs a full schedule, but it's for different teams. There he is right behind Justin Haley. Ryan Sieg, or excuse me, Myatt Snyder running in that fourth position.
Yeah, team car to Sieg. As you see the 16, that white number 16, that's A.J. Allmendinger.
Hasn't taken him long to get up there, has it?
Remember, Myatt Snyder ran the NASCAR Euro Series last year.
A lot of road courses with that, right?
A lot of all road courses, I believe.
Yeah, they have one oval race.
Yeah.
Definitely got some valuable experience during that trip overseas for Myatt. Myatt did a good job today, driving up from 26th position into 11th first stage. Grabbed a couple of stage points in stage 2.
See that 22 get by Myatt Snyder. He moves up now. He's chasing after the 16 of A.J. Allmendinger.
Let's ride along with Allmendinger. Going down the front straightaway. Changing gears. It's in third gear now. Into fourth gear. Heavy braking. Going to downshift. Use those gears to slow the car down.
See Austin Cindric right behind him, and Austin knows that he needs to try to get around AJ. If AJ gets the lead, he's long gone. You will not pass AJ if he takes the lead. The 22's only option here, I believe, is to be able to get around AJ while he's trying to work through this traffic. Down the back straightaway into turn 7. To the chip just a little bit there.
Watch this whole section right here. He's going to leave it. Actually changed gears. Kind of lugging that engine a little bit, keeping that rear wheels from spinning with low RPMs. You've seen some other drivers go through there in first gear. He's in second.
Yeah, maybe he does that for, the car's turning well enough not to need that. Oh, look at him slide it back through turn 11. Maybe that's helping him with drive off. He's going to be on the inside here. Haley's going to race him through turn 12, 13.
This right here is where he's got to check up a little bit to get a really good run.
Go back, no pressure, man.
This right here is where the pass can happen. Good forward momentum. Right now, Haley knows Allmendinger's going to be looking. Haley drives in deep with him.
What does Cindric do? Does it present an opportunity for him to get around Haley or not? Doesn't look like it.
No, this right here is going to be a place where he really can't pass Haley. Haley's going to check him up all through this section.
Yep.
Right now the goal is to get good forward momentum, leading 6. So right here, back up just a little bit, and then big run right here. to try to beat him in the 7, but Haley, really good speed off of the 6. We're going to see it all on nonstop. More racing action.
Closing in on just 14 laps to go in the Pennzoil 150 at the Brickyard. Still out front, it's Chase Briscoe. Kelly.
And Justin Allgaier about a second behind Chase Briscoe. Remember, we talked about it at the top of the show. Tomorrow, Justin will be filling in for Jimmy Johnson, who has been sidelined since testing positive for COVID-19. So this could be, though, the perfect doubleheader for Justin. We've talked about his road course prowess. He's a 3-time winner on road courses here in the Xfinity Series. And then don't forget, 2 years ago, he won the Xfinity Series race here at the Brickyard, and that was on the big oval. So he certainly proved that he can get it done on the big oval as well. It has not been the season they had hoped for Marty. They're looking for this weekend to be the time they turn things around with the 17.
And he's trying to hang on to that second position as A.J. Allmendinger stalks him up front. Chase Briscoe and asking Greg Zipadelli and spotter Tim Fedewa, what do I do? Run hard, save tires. Here's the radio conversation.
I don't know if we need to push harder, or I don't know. I think we're going to need the tires at the end here. I agree. I'd like to open it up a little if we could on that 22, but then I'm afraid we won't have tire at the end.
Chase Briscoe is the pride of Mitchell, Indiana. He came to the 99th running of the Indianapolis 500 and ran into a security guard friend. The security guard said, hey, why don't you go kiss the bricks? He knew Chase as a sprint car driver. Chase said, you know what? I'm going to hold off on that. Maybe someday I'll come back here as a driver. Never in his wildest dreams did he believe he would be at Indianapolis leading with 14 to go and a chance to kiss the bricks on his own.
And the battle for second place now into the hands of A.J. Allmendinger. So the gap has been closed. Allmendinger, one of the best on road courses, running in second. Then it's back to Allgaier and Austin Cindric. Those are the top four right now, and of course 4 of the best road course racers running up front.
This will be a clean lap for AJ. Be able to compare it to our leader Briscoe. Briscoe run a 91 12 the last lap. AJ was a little slower, but making that pass on Justin Allgaier.
I mentioned these are 4 of the best. Well, they've won 6 of the last 7 races.
Big lockup on the 22, getting into turn 12. Hate to see that.
The right front pretty hard there to fill it out. Slow car right here.
Not sure if that did much damage to the tire or not. It certainly affect the handling of the car anytime you flat spot one of those tires. That was a long,
yeah, it was a long time he drug it. I don't know about these tires, Steve. Some tires are more susceptible to flat spotting than others.
Yeah, I talked to a few crew chiefs after the first practice. We saw a bunch of tires lock up, and they said that the tire actually held up pretty good. You know, at some tracks, when you lock that tire up, it literally would just shave the rubber away and put a flat spot in a round tire. It can, A, make it vibrate, hurt handling, or if it gets severe enough, the tire can come apart. But these tires at Goodyear have brought this weekend not only perform well, but seem to be very durable to that flat spotting issue.
He's not real aggressive right there, but he needed to be. Listen, there are only 13 laps to go.
It doesn't look like he's getting through that section very well right there. Just watching to see if that tire's going to give him any problems in balance, just in speed. It looks like it may be.
Briscoe's fast.
Oh, we got an issue here. The 0 of Mike Wallace is around.
That's the 0-2 of Brent Moffitt with him.
Moffitt also. You see some right rear quarter panel damage to the 0-2.
They're going to continue.
Take another look.
That's Brett Moffitt to the inside of Mike Wallace as they head down to turn 1. Moffitt just too deep. Looks like it starts to wheel hop. Comes around. The driver of the 0-2. We talk about the break, the 10-week break for NASCAR. Unfortunate motocross accident. Brett Moffitt broke both legs in a motocross accident. Was able to recover to get back into a race car, but be wondering how, you know, those legs will feel after a long day on the road course.
And so a little bit of gap there between the 22 and 7 now, as it looks like Austin Cindric has felt it out to see if he has a flat spot on that right front. Go a little bit further back here in the lineup as we go back to Harrison Burton. And Harrison Burton currently running in the 8th position. Right behind him, Riley Herbst, as we look at the Toyota driver update. Brandon Godovic in the 14th position.
I would say Harrison and Riley, their main goal here today is obviously stay on track, get good finishes, but continue to improve your road course ability. You know, Harrison's in the playoffs, so he'll be going to the Roval. He's going to have to perform in the playoffs on the Roval, so having that road course experience and continue to improve will be really important to his championship hopes.
And we're going to go NASCAR nonstop once again. You won't miss a thing as Briscoe trying to hold off Allmendinger. Saw the caution on NASCAR Nonstop, the 44 Tommy Joe Martins putting a lot of fluid down on the racetrack, the smoke coming out. We saw an axle that was on the front stretch, so obviously an issue there.
Yeah, the first piece of debris was the entire left axle, and then from there, the oil of the rear end grease came out. So you see as he comes around this corner here, focus in the left rear tire, and you will see a hole where the axle should be, and B, you're going to see a bunch of fluid coming out of that, dumping onto the racetrack. So
right in the center of that left rear tire, you could see it, that hole.
Yep, I'm guessing the axle comes out right here on this right-hander. Yep.
So, and to be clear, that's on the front straightaway.
Yeah.
So he has gone all the way around the racetrack with the rear axle cover off of the rear end, which means that rear end grease could be everywhere.
Well, before this yellow came out, the question was, could Briscoe hold off Allmendinger Cindric? Briscoe was running some great laps. You know, we always talk about road courses being track position race, but guys, you know, Noah Gragson came and put tires on, and he drove through the field all the way up to 6th position. So, Marty, the question has got to be pondered by these leading crew chiefs. Do you need tires for this short sprint to the finish?
Yes, Steve, you look up the playbook for the crew chief with the 9 to go, what in essence is going to be when they come back to the line, and what's looking like a very long cleanup. It would tell you, right, stay out. But they all saw what Noah Gragson did, and you're talking about almost 3 seconds of fall off in 20 laps. So that's been a while since they've been on pit road here. So I think these leaders are going to wind up coming down pit road. What would you do, crew chief?
Oh, I'd stay on the racetrack. There's no doubt in my mind.
Of course you would,
if I'm
Steve,
Chase
right?
Briscoe, AJ Allmendinger, or Austin Cindric, there's no way I'm giving up those front 2 rows. We saw the chaos. I mean, they somehow worked it through those corners when we had the 7 car over the curbs and 2 and 3 wide, beating and banging. That's only going to continue. We're not sure these last 8 or 9 laps will even be under green. We could see another yellow. There's no way I'm giving up track position at this point.
There's 30 cars in the lead lap.
Yeah.
So even if you're running 10th, 11th, 12th, it'd be hard to pit from there as well. It's just so many cars still in the lead lap. It makes that decision way more difficult.
Okay, so we see the guys getting a little breather there. We'll take one as well. I want to talk, Junior, a little bit about what's coming up July 15th on Peacock. It's Lost Speedways. It seems like you've been traveling around the country.
Yeah, we have. We, I've been very passionate about abandoned racetracks for over a decade and wanting to make a TV show about them and to learn about them. NBC's been able to help me do that, and you'll be able to watch Lost Speedways on Peacock, which is the new streaming platform for NBC on July 15th. We're really excited about it. Can't wait to see what people think about the show. We've been dreaming about making this for many, many years, and here it is.
We saw the King on there. Quite a few I wouldn't want to say old-time drivers, but a lot of guys that raced on racetracks that are no longer even in existence.
Yeah, some of these tracks I didn't even know about, and we go in there and we learn about the legends that raced on them from those guys, and we also learn about what those tracks meant to those communities. Very fun.
Let's go to Rutledge.
Rick, not to mention Matt Dillner is going to be such a shining star of that show. I can't wait, Dale. But guys, we've been using the hashtag NBC Racing Weekend online, and a bunch of fans wrote in. They asked a great question. I want to ask the drivers and Steve too, but they're asking, with the cars going the opposite direction today and the rubber that both series have laid down, is that going to play in any effect tomorrow? Will that grip be there? Will it be weird because it was laid down the opposite direction, or does that not even matter?
You all want to jump in, drivers? I see y'all staring at me. So I have the opinion, I don't think it's going to change the grip, although it may come and go a little bit when the Cup cars head this direction, away from you, down into NASCAR 1. That might be an area that there may be some cleaner areas of the racetrack, but I'm not sure it's going to make a huge difference for the oval.
Well, they're going to know real quick. Yeah. I mean, you know, in this era of no practice or anything else, they're just going to drive down there, and the driver's just going to have to trust it's going to stick.
Fortunately, the max load areas in Turn 1 and Turn 2 of the oval aren't being used.
Right.
So where they're really going to be testing the grip, the lateral grip of the car should be good.
So, you know, I made the decision, or I made the opinion that I would stay on the racetrack. But we're hearing a lot of chatter from the leaders that they may end up coming to pit road, the 16 of Allmendinger, the 22 of Cindric. So the toughest position to be in is the 98. Because I think if he stays out, then the 16 and the 22 may pit to think that's the only chance to beat him. If the 98 pits, though, would one of the 16 or the 22? So let's see right here.
Yeah,
they're going to have to turn right. Look at this. Everybody up front. Someone's going to have to stay on the racetrack, I imagine, farther back in the field.
Okay,
Oh, no.
Gregson came too, and he had 5-lap pressure tires on. Should he have stayed out?
Well, at this point, not enough stayed out to matter. Since the entire field pitted, fresh tires are going to be the call. Now, what pit crew can perform when it matters most, Kelly?
Well, we saw Austin Cindric, as he said he smoked that right front pretty hard. So when his crew chief, Brian Wilson, asked him if he wanted 4 tires, he said, I would love them, and a water. He also said that bright yellow 22 car is just too tight. It's not rotating well at low speed. So he'll come in, he'll get those Goodyear tires, that drink bottle, and he'll be sent back out, Marty.
A.J. Allmendinger and Chris Rice, reminder, they are here just to win the race, so they want to stay on offense. They're going with 4 fresh Goodyear tires. And how about Greg Zipadelli in his last race off the bench, filling in for the suspended crew chief on this 98 car. They come down pit road, going to take 4 tires here. Chase Briscoe said, I think it is much better on the longer run. I don't know what we're going to have for the short run. Tighten me up, I guess. Put 4 tires on it. We'll see what happens. But the 98 is going to hold serve here on pit road with the dinger coming out second.
And so as they race off of pit road, I go back to the way this show started with the drivers talking about who they thought were going to be the favorites. And it just so happens that Chase Briscoe has thrown his name into the hat, but we have A.J. Allmendinger up there, Austin Cindric is up there, Justin Allgaier is up there. Okay, drivers, who do you think? We've got just a handful of laps to go.
Man, the gloves are off. Going into turn 1 on this restart, everybody's been pretty nice most of the day. That's coming to an end right now. We're going to see there's going to be somebody come out of that corner that's going to be really happy because they're going to be in the lead. The rest of those guys are going to be really upset. I don't know who that's going to be. Maybe Chase Briscoe. I think if he can get the lead, his car doesn't have that early run speed, but if he can hold that lead for about 3 or 4 laps, he seems to settle in and run comparable times to A.J. Allmendinger and the rest of the field.
Yeah, it's all going to be who can get this restart done. Junior and I have both been in these late race restart positions on road courses, and it is chaos. You're going to expect mayhem into turn 1 because in turn 1, you almost come to a complete stop. So everybody's going to be trying to outbrake each other. People are going to be in each other's doors. It's going to get very aggressive. Whoever comes out of there with the lead, obviously is going to have the best shot to win this race.
All right, crew chief, he mentioned the word chaos. How do you keep your driver calm for these final laps?
Well, I think at this point, it really depends on what you're here to do. Everybody wants to win the race, but there are some drivers that have to be concerned about points. We know A.J. Allmendinger, he's here for only the trophy. Cindric has said multiple times he thinks the road courses are his best chance. Overall, though, Rick, we started the day talking about a great day of racing on a holiday. The 4th of July, Indycar and NASCAR, Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I did not know what this road course would race like. It's been amazing. I applaud Goodyear. They brought a tire that these drivers want to come get tires in the closing laps. We haven't seen that before, so it is going to be a short run to the finish with beating and banging with old tires starting up front. Remember, new tires aren't in the front. We hear there's a penalty right here of Justin Allgaier at the top of the screen, removing equipment.
Watch to see what comes out of the pit box with the 7 car.
There you go. He catches the air hose and pulls it out.
Let's listen to the radio.
We got a penalty. You got to be freaking kidding me.
And things happen that quickly.
Yeah, it's disappointing this part of the race. It's too late.
20 car on pit road as well.
So Harrison Burton brings the 20 onto pit road as we're getting ready for the restart. Again, a lot of cars up here in front. Well, 4 of them now that are in front of the guys who have just been on pit road. Pardis and Weatherman make up the front row with 7 laps to go at Indy.
Watch Briscoe in row 3. We've seen him outbreak a lot of these guys down into turn 1 on that inside line. He's in good position to do that again.
Allmendinger's in there as well. And now look at him fan out.
Briscoe 4, to the middle.
5 wide, 6 wide behind him.
Huge move for Briscoe. Wow. Right through the middle, outbroke everybody.
That was amazing. Could be a race-winning move.
Allmendinger has come out in second now as they work their way through these right and lefts.
And look at Cindric, how much he's gotten hung up behind these cars. Did nothing wrong, just in the wrong line.
All right, who has the early run speed here? AJ or Briscoe?
Oh, I think the 16 has showed new tires has been his advantage through practice. We're on board with the 16 right here. An update on the 20 of Harrison Burton. We hear it was a loose wheel. That's why it came to pit road. Look at him close in on the 98, Rick.
All over the back bumper for the lead. Looks to the inside. Now he can't get there. Briscoe pulling away. A.J. Allmendinger making a very rare mistake there. Briscoe has 2 car links now.
He's got the speed, though. Clearly, he's faster right now.
Oh, chasing the back of that car right there. You see him lose through turn 11.
Into 12, now the left-hander, 13. Allmendinger closing the gap. What can he do now when he gets out on the front stretch?
And the key is, where is he better? You saw right there.
Right forward here.
And around the 52, that's Cody Vanderwall, one of the 19-year-olds in the field. And we stay green. 6 laps to go.
So you damage the back top of our screen. You can see somebody.
That's LeBay, number 90.
Here comes Cindric trying to get by Gregson.
This battle for third could be important. These two leaders get together. Running third could be the winning move.
Side by side for that third position. Will there be frustration here late in this race? Will Cindric put the bumper to him? He looks to the inside, trying to take third away.
That was a great move by Cindric.
Just in front of him, the front two running for 1 and 2. Briscoe and Allmendinger. Then it's Cindric now who's made the pass. Gregson in 4th.
Briscoe will have to be perfect. AJ is so good.
That looks like the area of the track where the 90 is actually a little bit better. That 7, 8, 9 complex of corners. It seems like the other end of the racetrack, I think Allmendinger is better. The car we're on board with now. Better is one thing, passing's another. Allmendinger has to get better in one of these corners leading to a straightaway.
That's the key. Making lap time is one thing, but passing is another. You saw right there, Allmendinger, back of the car wasn't hooked up, so that let Briscoe get a big gap on him in this braking zone. So nowhere close enough.
A lot of horsepower here on the track right now, and well, they're going to continue on. The Breeders' Cup Challenge Series will be on following this race. And we see still that battle for the lead. Briscoe still has about a 2-car length lead over AJ Allmendinger in the 16.
As we watch this battle for the lead, Justin Allgaier has battled all the way back up to 11th after that penalty with the pit equipment. So a great car for the 7. I think it's going to be too little too late, but he should be able to get back in the top 10, recover.
So Allmendinger went through that section really well, closed the gap. This right here is just kind of a fake move.
Maybe I'll catch you in the mirror. There. Yeah, catch you looking in the mirror, Jeff.
Look at this.
Oh, big move.
To the inside. Does he make the move? Does he put the bumper to him? No. Briscoe still has the lead.
Oh, Briscoe missed the entry there.
And here comes Allmendinger.
Allmendinger not able to capitalize going into turn 11.
And all that's let Cindric close the gap.
Driving into this one.
So much pressure on Chase Briscoe, trying to be perfect.
It's putting Chase offline. He's having to block a little bit. That's brought the 22 right into this battle.
Key is just hitting your marks right here. Just hit your marks. This is not a passing zone. Just set up for this last section.
Here comes Austin Cindric in that 22.
More blocking here by Chase down into the braking zone of turn 1. 4 laps to go.
That's great racing.
The 3 best drivers, the 3 fastest cars all weekend, right here battling for the win.
See right there, Briscoe gets offline just a little bit. But now Allmendinger, his job just got more difficult. Because if he makes a mistake trying to make the move, Cindric's there to take that second spot. So now Allmendinger's got to be more selective in when he makes his move.
And he didn't get a run there through 5 and 6 to set up a pass here down in 7. But man, we've seen him put the pressure on Briscoe.
This is where he's stronger.
Oh man, he's right on him.
So Briscoe's got a block right here on the right side. Now just get on line. It's not a passing zone here. Just get yourself lined up.
Oh, Briscoe misses the corner.
He missed it. That's the part where you didn't need to miss it because it's just not a passing zone.
Just shows you how hard they are pushing right to the limit. Now, can Cindric put the pressure on AJ? Look at him, he's aggressive with the bumper of that car. He's gonna dive in, contact. More contact. As they come across the racetrack to set up for turn 14.
Briscoe's praying for more contact. It's brought him back into the race. Remember what Cindric said. With not knowing what the schedule is going to be in the future, this road course means that much more to him. He's so good on the road courses. He needs his win here.
Cindric keeping the pressure on. He has to stay in the back bumper of this 16 car. Can't let AJ get a few car lengths, get any kind of comfort. AJ just drives away ever so slowly through this section of the racetrack. A good gap right there. AJ's going to look in the mirror and think, yeah, it's just what I needed.
Less than 3 laps to go, and the top 4 are separated by less than 1 second for the win here at Indy.
Yeah, the 3 has turned into 4. Noah Gragson in the 9 is now to the rear bumper of the 98. Any mistake, any accident.
This part of the track hadn't been the fastest part of the track for AJ. Briscoe out in that 22 car, not making things easy for Cindric in second.
Anybody questioned this road course at Indianapolis? I think that's been answered. Put on a great race.
Tough turn 12. Here comes the 22, puts the bumper again to AJ Allmendinger.
Right on your bumper.
He knows that. He can feel it.
All right.
Oh,
yeah,
right in back of him.
He's sideways.
Look at Briscoe.
3 wide onto the front straightaway.
Allmendinger tries to block for second. They're side by side.
AJ's going to have to run low here.
Briscoe trying to make it 3 wide. Going to outbrake him.
He's committed.
Hard on the brakes. He takes the lead away. Here comes the 16 back on the outside.
Oh, he just ran him through the grass. They got Cindric on the outside of him. That was an incredible move. This race is not over, though.
Smoking the right side there was Briscoe.
Allmendinger's not happy with that move. I can promise
More
you.
contact out of the 22. Here comes the 9. Gregson's trying to move up to second.
22 may have an issue.
22, a lot of damage still right in front.
And he's working that car back and forth, trying to see if he's got all 4 tires up. Oh, the 16 off the track.
He's going to take second away. AJ Allmendinger falls back to third. Now Justin Haley takes that spot away.
And as this battle rages, the 98 of Briscoe has now a 10 car length lead coming to the white flag.
Well, those 2 guys banging against each other. They obviously have hurt their cars.
Chase Briscoe, we heard he had a buddy that worked here as a security guard. Used to let him sneak into the garage so he could hand out business cards. And now he's racing at Indy. He's out front.
You have absolutely no pressure.
And his spotter tells him he has no pressure. 1 lap to go, presented by Credit One Bank.
Do not look in that mirror.
Indiana kid trying to win the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Rick, he told us his first memory of the Brickyard was watching Tony Stewart win the Brickyard 400. Can he repeat another Indiana driver winning at the Brickyard?
Back in second, Noah. Off course there in turn 1, gives up the second spot to Haley.
So Haley now is second, Noah Gragson third, AJ Allmendinger back in fourth, and a smoking 22 of Austin Cindric is running fifth. There you see the gap between 1 and 2. The biggest fight on the track now for third. What a run for Chase Briscoe. At the start of the year, he said he thought he needed 8 wins to make his way into the highest series of NASCAR, which is the Cup Series. He has 4 wins already, looking for win number 5 today, and it could be one of the biggest. He calls this his home track. The Indiana boy has suffered through highs and lows this season.
Bring it home here.
Bring it home. The words coming through the radio for Chase Briscoe. The first ever running of the Xfinity Series on the road course at Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and the Indiana boy is going to win it.
No burnouts on the bricks.
That is a huge day for Chase Briscoe.
Good job, guys. Good team effort. Way to hang in there and never give up.
After a mistake, it looked as though Chase Briscoe was out of it. But then he forced his way up front and took the lead. NBCSN will return Saturday, July 18th from Texas Motor Speedway. And as we just saw, the best racing is now. The celebration that he is getting so good at underway here at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Chase Briscoe, his 5th win already in 2020. Only one driver has ever done better in this few of races. That's Sam Ard back in 1984, who had 6 wins through 13 races. But Chase Briscoe really dominating right now in the NASCAR Xfinity Series.
And that kind of drive, you saw those pit crew guys on pit road. Steve, you know this. That when you get up on the wheel and you make something happen like that, that makes you the king, man. Makes those guys right there absolutely love you.
Yeah, at a time when
very poignant moment right there.
In a time when everybody's expected to work so hard. Here we go. I told you.
Yeah, like
he loved Tony Stewart's win. Now he's won with Tony's crew chief, Greg Zipadelli, and they're going to climb the fence.
Oh, be careful.
Up the fence they go.
He told us if he won, he was climbing that fence. Was not going to keep him off of it.
You just don't see drives like that too often. That was incredible. I thought as soon as AJ and Cindric got in front of him, I thought it was down to those two guys. We thought about that all week long. But, man, he came back and took it away from them. We just do not see things like that happen every day in the sport. It's amazing what he's done today and this entire year. Been an incredible year for Briscoe.
What a dream come true today to be able to win at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. He spent so much time on the simulator. He told us that back in February, when he found out that this course was going to be a part of their schedule, he immediately went to the simulator, and every single week he spent time working on this road course, and it definitely's paid off.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I thought guys would just be, you know, ramping up to send time this week. He told us he's been on this track since February. Incredible. Marty.
What a drive for Mitchell, Indiana's Chase Briscoe. You told us you were doing everything. You weren't kidding, were you?
No, everybody knows that I grew up, my hero in racing was Tony Stewart, and to get a drive for him, and watch him win the Brickyard, and that was always his signature thing. So, I just wanted to do it, and obviously it's not the same prestige as winning on the oval, but you still want Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It doesn't matter if you're racing on the oval, the road course, the dirt track, or even in the parking lot, especially when you win here. And growing up, coming here all the time, it's unbelievable to think I just won here. So, so happy to get highpoint.com in victory lane again, and I'm wore out. That fence climb, that'll take a lot out of you.
Chase, most significant win of your career?
Yeah, I mean, from a personal standpoint, the Darlington deal meant a ton just because what I was going through. But, I've dreamed of coming to this racetrack and just getting to race here. So to win here, just unbelievable. I can't put it into words. And to get all of our sponsors in victory lane, driving for Stuart Haas at Indianapolis. It doesn't get better than that.
What would make it even better, the fans, the Indiana native, he wins. Chase Briscoe, a winner at the Brickyard.
And what a day. Told the Indy Star yesterday, this place just has so much history and heritage that just to race here is a privilege. And now he has won here. Guys, I think we saw aggressive racing, but we saw determination out of Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, determination and a great race, a great day of racing. Indycar and Xfinity at Indianapolis Motor Speedway.
Well, tomorrow on NBC, Cup Series racing from the Brickyard. That coverage begins at 4 p.m. Eastern. Coming up next, it's horse racing. The Breeders' Cup Challenge Series live from Belmont Park. Congratulations, Chase Briscoe.